Your 20s are often described as one of the most transformative decades of life. It is a period filled with opportunity, uncertainty, ambition, and growth. During these years, many people feel pressure to have everything figured out: career, relationships, finances, and personal identity. Yet the truth is that the 20s are not meant to be perfect. They are meant to be a time of discovery. The experiences, mistakes, and insights you gain during this decade shape how you approach the rest of your life. By the time you reach 30, the most valuable thing you can have is not perfection, but wisdom. Learning the right lessons early can save years of confusion and frustration later. Here are 7 life lessons that can profoundly shape your future if you understand them before turning 30. 1. No one really has everything figured out. One of the biggest misconceptions people carry in their 20s is the belief that everyone else has their life perfectly organized. Social media, professional achievements, and public success stories often create the illusion that others have already discovered their purpose while you are still searching for yours. In reality, most people are learning as they go. Careers change, goals evolve, and priorities shift over time. Someone who appears confident and successful today may have felt just as uncertain a few years earlier. Even individuals in their 40s and 50s often admit they are still discovering new passions and directions. Understanding this truth can alleviate a significant amount of unnecessary pressure. Instead of comparing your journey to someone else's timeline, you can focus on your own progress. Life does not follow a universal schedule, and growth rarely happens in a perfectly straight line. Your 20s are meant to be a period of exploration. You might try different jobs, learn new skills, travel to unfamiliar places, or meet people who change how you see the world. Each experience contributes to a deeper understanding of who you are and what matters to you. The sooner you accept that uncertainty is normal, the easier it becomes to embrace the process of figuring things out. 2. Your habits shape your future more than your goals. Goals are exciting. They give you something to aim for and provide a sense of direction. However, goals alone rarely determine success. What truly shapes your future are the daily habits you develop. A goal might inspire you to begin something, but habits are what carry you forward when motivation fades. Small actions repeated consistently over time create powerful results. Reading a few pages each day eventually turns into dozens of books completed. Practicing a skill regularly leads to mastery that would seem impossible at the beginning. The problem is that many people focus entirely on big achievements while ignoring the small behaviors required to reach them. They dream about success but do not design routines that support those dreams. Your 20s are the ideal time to build habits that will support you for decades. Learning to manage your time, taking care of your health, developing discipline, and maintaining curiosity can influence every aspect of your life. Habits shape your identity as well. When you consistently practice something, you begin to see yourself differently. A person who writes every day starts to view themselves as a writer. Someone who exercises regularly begins to see themselves as disciplined and resilient. By the time you reach 30, the habits you formed in your 20s will quietly determine many of the opportunities available to you. 3. Failure is not the opposite of success. Many young people grow up believing that failure is something to avoid at all costs. Schools and social environments often reward perfect outcomes rather than experimentation. As a result, people may become afraid to try new things because they fear making mistakes. However, failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of the path toward it. Every attempt that does not go as planned provides information. It reveals what does not work and highlights areas that need improvement. In many fields, the most accomplished individuals experienced repeated setbacks before achieving recognition. Entrepreneurs launch businesses that fail before discovering successful ideas. Writers produce drafts that never get published before creating meaningful work. Athletes lose competitions before developing the skill and resilience needed to win. Failure becomes damaging only when someone interprets it as a permanent statement about their ability. When people view failure as feedback instead of judgment, they can continue learning and adjusting their approach. Your 20s are one of the safest times to experiment. You have the freedom to explore ideas, take risks, and learn from mistakes without the pressure of having everything perfected. If you learn to treat failure as a teacher rather than an enemy, you will develop resilience that serves you throughout life. 4. Your time is your most valuable resource. Many people believe money is the most valuable resource they possess, but time is far more precious. Money can be earned again, investments can grow, and opportunities can return. Time, however, is constantly moving forward and cannot be recovered once it has passed. During your 20s, it can be tempting to assume that you have endless time ahead of you. While life can be long, the habits and choices you make during these years significantly shape your future. Time invested in learning, developing skills, and building meaningful relationships creates long-term benefits. Even small investments of time can accumulate into substantial growth. This does not mean you must spend every moment working or chasing productivity. Enjoyment, rest, and exploration are essential parts of a balanced life. However, being intentional about how you spend your time can make a remarkable difference. Ask yourself whether your time is aligned with your priorities. Are you spending energy on activities that help you grow, or are you drifting through routines that do not contribute to your goals? Learning to respect your time early in life encourages discipline and focus that will benefit you for years to come. 5. Not everyone will understand your path. At some point, you may decide to pursue something that does not fit traditional expectations. Perhaps you choose a creative career, start a business, travel extensively, or follow a passion that others consider risky. When this happens, you may encounter skepticism or criticism from people around you. Sometimes this reaction comes from concern, but often it stems from unfamiliarity or fear. People tend to encourage paths they understand. When someone chooses a different direction, it challenges the assumptions others have about success and security. Learning to handle this situation with confidence is an important life skill. It does not mean ignoring advice completely. Thoughtful feedback can be valuable. However, you must also recognize that no one else can fully understand your ambitions, values, and motivations. If you constantly seek approval before acting, you may never pursue the things that truly matter to you. The most fulfilling paths in life often require courage to move forward, even when others do not fully understand your vision. Trusting your own judgment while remaining open to learning from others creates a balanced approach to decision-making. 6. Relationships matter more than you think. While personal ambition and independence are important, relationships remain one of the most meaningful parts of life. The people you surround yourself with influence your mindset, habits, and emotional well-being in profound ways. Supportive friendships can encourage you during challenging times and celebrate your successes with genuine enthusiasm. Mentors can share wisdom that shortens your learning curve. Family members often provide stability and connection during periods of uncertainty. At the same time, unhealthy relationships can drain your energy and discourage personal growth. Spending time with individuals who constantly criticize, doubt, or compete with you can make progress more difficult. Your 20s are an important period for building a network of meaningful connections. Investing time in friendships, collaboration, and mentorship can open doors that would otherwise remain closed. Relationships also contribute to a deeper sense of fulfillment. Many of life's most memorable experiences are shared with others, celebrating milestones, overcoming challenges together, and supporting each other through change. Learning to nurture genuine relationships will enrich both your personal life and your professional journey. 7. You are responsible for the direction of your life. Perhaps the most empowering lesson to learn before 30 is that you are responsible for the direction your life takes. This idea does not mean blaming yourself for every obstacle or difficulty you encounter. Circumstances vary widely, and not everything is within your control. However, your response to those circumstances remains one of the most powerful influences on your future. Taking responsibility means recognizing that your decisions, habits, and attitudes shape the opportunities you create. Instead of waiting for ideal conditions, you begin working with the resources you have available. This mindset shifts your perspective from passive observation to active participation. You become someone who builds, adapts, and grows, rather than someone who waits for life to happen. Responsibility also encourages accountability. When you acknowledge your role in shaping your future, you become more intentional about the choices you make each day. Over time, this approach leads to greater independence, confidence, and clarity about the life you want to build. Final thoughts. Your 20s are not meant to be a decade of flawless decisions. They are meant to be a time of exploration, growth, and discovery. The lessons you learn during these years shape how you approach challenges, relationships, and opportunities in the future. By embracing uncertainty, building strong habits, learning from failure, respecting your time, trusting your path, nurturing relationships, and taking responsibility for your life, you lay the foundation for a meaningful future. No one reaches 30 with every answer. But if you carry these lessons with you, you will enter the next chapter of life with greater wisdom, resilience, and confidence. If you enjoyed this content, make sure to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Which life lesson do you think is the most important to learn before 30?